I'm Amber Nestor, and I'm the listing agent for 425 Ashe Cabin Hollow Road, Harriman, Tennessee. And as you can see in this image here, we have had a huge price drop. This property hit the market about 10 days ago at $400,000, and we are now all the way down at 305. I met with the one of the owners of the property today. He's going to be going out of town soon, and we walked through the upstairs, the downstairs, the yard, talked in more detail about a few extra things he had improved over the past few days since my last trip out there. And we talked in depth about his goals and the timeline he'd like to get certain things done. And based on those factors, we said, you know what? I think the good thing to do here is to go ahead and get this price dropped. So we did our amendment form and we input that into the MLS. That price drop should now be reflecting on thousands of websites that advertise real estate in the US and abroad. So let's take a deep dive into this property. Let's talk about some of the things that he has improved since my last trip out there. We'll go through every single detail about this property. If you've not looked at it before, there's a lot of people who have saved it on the MLS, on Realtor.com, on Zillow, etc. over just the past 10 days. It's gotten a lot of views and a lot of saves, a lot of favorites. So let's take a deep dive. Let's look at what this property has to offer, what makes it unique, rare, and special in comparison to a lot of other homes that are out there on the market right now. We're going to talk about a little bit of everything, so let's dive in. Really quickly here before we dive into the property, I'm just going to display my contact information. You can contact me at 865-617-4783 to schedule a showing. Text me as quickly as you can. I can write up your offer. I can get you into the property. I can show you the property lines. I can get you GPS coordinates for the property lines. Anything you need to do, research, verifications, writing up an offer, discussing contingencies, scheduling inspections, finding you someone that can give you the right type of loan product so that you can purchase the property as is, so you can encapsulate improvements and upgrades. Anything that you need to do, I'm your solutions person, so just let me know. So for the photo gallery, we're going to look at it through Realtor.com at the moment, and we're going to check out these images, and I'm going to talk about the property again. It is at 305. It was at 400,000 10 days ago. Earlier today, we had gotten it down to about 375, and then just moments ago, it's 7:56 p.m. Eastern time. About 5 or 10 minutes ago, we dropped it all the way down to 305. So this is showing the most recent drop. So we're going to go through these photos. We're going to talk about the property. All right, and I've got those resized. So they're 7.75 acres, and we're going to look at a close-up of this image here in just a bit. Here is a picture of the property. This is an older picture. I have a newer picture to provide to you. Also, many of the images in the photo gallery are going to have better upgrades in the coming days ahead. I have a few images in my phone that I captured, and I'm going to pull those up now and get them sent over to my laptop so I can display them for you. One of them is of the brand new HVAC system, and so that is going to be a good thing to incorporate there. So there's two HVAC systems on the side of the house. You can't see that from this image, but there are two there now. A brand new one is only 1 year old. It has been totally installed. Where there used to be the vents blowing air out of the floorboard in the main level of the home, now it's all routed into the ceiling. And so the vents blow the air out from the ceiling. The system is spectacular. It's top notch. So all new vents, all new thermostat. It's a really nice system, really nice setup. The house also has two hose spigots. So one of them is to the right of this front porch. The other one is around either the side or the back. I think it's at the back, right around this side here, if I remember correctly. A new outlet was also installed around the back over here as you're approaching the back deck on the right hand side. That was put in. It has a nice cover. So that's a nice little extra touch that was recently added. This set of diagrams here side by side is showing you the same image but in different sets of coloring for visuals. The yellow pen is indicating where the home is at in proximity to these branching waterways, and you can see those same branching waterways here. This diagram on the right uses the red pens to indicate many marinas that are in the area. These two images, I'm going to enlarge that just a bit. These two images show the house standing at the front right corner and standing at the back of the house looking this way. This is a burn pile that's going to be burned off. We have had a ton of rain, so the seller is talking about covering that with a tarp so that when this rain finally calms down and it dries out, he'll just burn that off. That was left over after having the property mowed and bush hogged. These curtains have been taken down and lots of things have been tidied up since these images were taken. In this image, it really helps to show how big the house really is. These are two windows that are in the basement level of the home. Lots of flat yard space. And something else that I noticed today, there's a long driveway. So this house is very private from the road. But the space, the yard space in front of the house leading down to the road, there's plenty of space to build another house or two down there as well. Especially that first section right on the road frontage, it is very flat. So this image here is where I was showing with AI some possibilities. You know, you could make the space underneath the back deck really beautiful. You could put in some sliding glass doors or floor to ceiling windows in place of that garage door to really bring in the natural light and open up the views to the downstairs level. This also kind of shows you what it would look like after that burn pile is burned off. This also takes a look at what if you were to put in a pool with a waterfall feature and some nice wraparound landscaping would look really beautiful right here. That would really turn the backyard experience into a walkout basement stepping out into a luxury area. It would be very beautiful like that. This is the garage door from the outside right now. This is the space I was talking about putting in those ceiling to floor windows or sliding glass doors. This is an image from inside the basement with the garage door open, the residential door open, and you can see one of the two windows on the right over here. The ceilings are very high in the basement level of the home. There's also plumbing down here, electricity down here, and a whole separate HVAC system that can be dedicated down here. Brand new electrical panel box. The floors were recently pressure washed and the steps coming down were recently pressure washed. There's a hot tub down there that's movable that was left behind by the owners prior to the current owners. There's a wooden table here that can be moved. There's some shelving here that can be moved. The seller today was explaining to me how over on this wall between the two windows there is a area where you can attach various types of fireplace systems if you wanted to. And he was also explaining to me that there's washer dryer hookups down there as well. This is the hot water heater. This is part of a well pump system. Public water is what this house is currently running on. But there is a well there and there's a system that the well used to be attached with. So if somebody wanted to consult with a professional about hooking that well back up again and utilizing again, that's absolutely something you could explore. This is the basement from different angles. So this is looking towards the right side of the house and you can see those two windows. There's some shelves there that are kind of blocking the windows a little bit, but they're looking out into this beautiful forested wraparound perimeter there. This is images taken from the perspective of standing with your back to those two windows, looking across, and there again are the open doors with all that natural light pouring in. This is standing in one of the corners. This is standing in opposite corners. and in another corner. So you can really see this is looking at the Realtor.com version of the photo gallery as it exists 7/19/2026, 8:03 p.m. Again, this is going to go through a few upgrades in the days ahead. This is a closer up image of the front of the house. This is a picture of the backyard standing underneath the back deck. This is another picture of that same space after the snow, and you can see this hill just kind of gently rolls up, which is so cool. The topography of this land, I'm so in love with it. I wish I was in a position to purchase this property. I absolutely would. This is taken from a similar spot in the yard, coming near the end of the driveway. So you come up the driveway, you approach the house, and then the driveway passes the house, and then on the left of the driveway there's a 3-bay carport that has power run to it, and then after it there's also like a dog enclosure there. This is the property lines of the property. So you've got the 85 feet of road frontage there at the road front, which is really nice. And it widens as you come up to where the home site is. The home is right here. This is zoned such that, and I have this in writing from the zoning department, it's zoned such that you're allowed to attempt for up to 2 primary residences per every acre. You're also allowed to have an RV there with a permit. These are those diagrams again that show proximity to the waterways. It is a quick drive to Kingston, to Farragut, to Lenore City, to Rockwood, to 10 Mile. You can see these roadways here. You can head north, south, east, west in so many different directions. To see, let's see, the house is right around here. So you have the option to just go in any direction, encapsulating these branching waterways, or head eastwardly into Farragut or east southeast to get over to the Great Smoky Mountains or Lenore City. It's just a really cool location. This shows the topography maps. Here where the gray lines are very spaced out, that shows that it's more flat and level or very gently rolling. Then as it approaches this south point, it comes up to a peak. So I think if this was my property, I would build a house down here. Here's the house that's already there. Then put a 3rd one here, a 4th one, a 5th one, a 6th one, a 7th one, an 8th one, a 9th one, and a 10th one. Maybe, that's what I would try for me personally. Oh, and just a quick note, these dashed yellow lines typically represent where someone in the past had considered subdividing the land in a different way, but then abandoned that plan. So it's like a historical record. In researching property all over the entire state of Tennessee for many, many years, every time I've seen that type of indicator in this particular system, that was what it turned out to mean. So I'm confident that's what it means. If you would like confirmation of that before we close, I will absolutely get that in writing from the records department. This diagram just indicates a creek that runs alongside the road. There is a culvert there that allows that to pass through underneath the driveway. This shows the incredible high speeds that are available both through Starlink and T-Mobile for internet solutions. We've got download and upload speeds indicated here. They're superb speeds. This shows the main paved road front and the connecting gravel drive that leads up to the property here. This shows that driveway leading up to the property, and this also shows you that from the road you can't really see the house. So the house is very private, but right here you could potentially explore the opportunity to build another home. This is a nice flat space here. This shows where the house's pin is in relation to Roane County Park on the lake and other key areas like Midtown, Kingston, etc. This shows the pin for the house here and proximity to Roane County Hospital, Covenant Health, Kroger, Lowe's, and much, much more. This shows a diagram of Kingston City Park on the lake, which is just a couple minutes away. Beautiful park, connected to the Betty Brown Memorial Walking Trail. I think it's over 3 miles of walking trail. And actually, I was just out walking it today for my daily mile walk outdoors, and noticed they added a beautiful cabin-style church, a historic cabin-style church on part of that walkway. It's very pretty. This is a diagram of the very large Roane County Waterfront Park, which is next door to the Caney Creek RV Resort. And this park is full of walking trails, lots of little playgrounds. There's a beach area. There's a disc golf course. There's, I think, tennis courts near the entrance on the left. Just so much. It is so pretty. I go there quite often. Here is Caney Creek Marina, which is also nearby as well. You can rent a boat there. This is very close to where the property is located, which is awesome because especially if you're moving some distance and you don't have a boat yet, it's really affordable to rent a boat over here at Caney Creek Marina and get to enjoy getting out on the water for a very low cost. There's also a place that you can buy a boat nearby as well. This diagram shows the pin for, actually in this one, the property is wrapped in yellow here. This is the pin for the property in yellow. But this red pin indicates where a new large workout anytime facility recently opened this year. It's 24-hour access, massage chairs, sauna, tanning beds, yoga room, and much more. Red light therapy, you name it. Over here in orange, we have encapsulated, it's also very close to Roane State Community College, as well as a brand new campus for the TCAT Higher Education Facility. And then there's Lowe's right there. There's also a Walgreens and a CVS very close by, a Walmart as well. This is a diagram of the brand new Rockwood Marina, which is very beautiful. All new. I think they just finished that project about a year or so ago. It's right next door to the Tom Fuller Memorial Park on the water as well. Two really beautiful, wonderful places to be close to. And again, there's tons of marinas all up and down these waterways, but these are just some of the things that are like your absolute closest options by car. This diagram shows that there's an abundance of wildlife management areas through TWRA all around this region here. You've got the Paint Rock WMA, which encapsulates a lot of land around the waterways, the Watts Bar WMA. This is McLaughlin Largan. The name doesn't pop up, but that's what it's called. It's 100 acres on the water. This is more of the Watts Bar WMA. This huge parcel here, or section of parcels, is all parts of the Mount Roosevelt WMA, and there's many more that are nearby, but these are just a few that are just literally within a few minutes drive. This diagram shows these darkened areas along the waterway, which are TVA public lands, and just like the TWRA WMA lands, TVA lands have all these different spaces, and all the different spaces have different rules. If you want to look up rules for TWRA lands or TVA lands, you can visit their websites. You can also check out eregulations.com. That website is eregulations.com. You will select the state of Tennessee and you will pull up a PDF file that will show you everything about everything. If you need help with that, just let me know. This is looking out of the front window onto the deck, the front deck, because there's a front and a back deck, and the yard, and you can see there's my little car parked right there next to the bushes, but you have so much privacy from the road. This is looking out the kitchen window onto the back deck and then through to the backyard. I love that the kitchen sink and the plumbing for the kitchen is facing that back area there. It's just a great feature to have, to be able to face the backyard. If you've got little ones out back playing, you can keep an eye on them. If you've got people that you're entertaining on the back deck or in the backyard, you can kind of keep an eye on what's going on. It's just a really nice feature, nice placement. This is the downstairs residential style door. just kind of noting that that's there. Lots of outlets and things downstairs. These are the steps. They recently were pressure washed. The floor downstairs was also pressure washed as well. Nice high ceilings in that basement level as well. Not sure if I mentioned that earlier. There's a close-up of the water heater, which has public water connected to the entire house right now. Previously, it was on a well system, so that well water and that well is still there. It's accessible. You could have a professional come out, and who knows, maybe you use well water to fill a pool or water your garden. This is a sticker on one of the windows. There's all new Energy Star windows installed on the main level of the home throughout. This is a hot tub that was left behind by the owners prior to the current owners. This can be moved around. The current owners report they have not used it. This is what the wellhead looks like. You can see where it was hooked up to some things not too long ago. This is an image indicating where these two blocks are. This is a covering block to protect the well head. This is a wooden set of posts where there used to be a swing. When you drive up the driveway, you're going to pass the house, you're going to see the carport bays on the left, and then immediately after you're going to see this and this, so it's easy to locate. This is a picture of the kitchen living room open space central at the heart of the main level of the home. Bedrooms and bathrooms branch off both to the left and the right of this space. This is looking with the kitchen to your back, looking towards the front here. And take note that there's new lighting, new insulation, new sheetrock on the walls and the ceilings. The lighting has multiple settings. It's really nice. Brand new front door, all new interior doors that are solid hardwood, not hollow, solid. Any floor vents that you see on the main level have been decommissioned. They are no longer in use. All of your air is coming from the brand new HVAC system that's feeding through the ceiling. There's also several access points to the attic space, and there's lighting there as well. There's a crawl space, and the crawl space also has lighting, and it's been lined and cleaned. So this is just looking at the open kitchen living room floor span space from different angles. Really all that's needed primarily to finish out this house is you need to paint the walls, and you need to pick out your flooring and have your flooring installed. And everywhere there's a kitchen or a bathroom space, you need to decide, do you want to keep the fixtures that are there, or do you want to upgrade with something nicer? And then finish out the insulation and the sheetrock. There are tons of extra sheetrock and insulation already there. It conveys with the sale of the property. So it's just a matter of you deciding how you want to customize your kitchen and your bathrooms. Additionally, the basement, if I was buying this house, I would explore and consider finishing out the basement since it has such nice high ceilings. It's got plumbing, it's got electric, it's got climate control. So I would consider finishing that out, putting in a sliding glass door, sealing the floor windows in the garage, and make that a master bedroom, master bath, and laundry area. Like you could combine, you could put a third bathroom maybe, and then have that third bathroom also have space for a washer and dryer. And then the rest of the space be a fourth master suite bedroom, or maybe even cut it into two and have two more bedrooms down there. Again, everything relies on permitting processes and consulting with your contractor, but these are just things that, I think would be beautiful to attempt. These doors are looking out onto the back deck and out onto the backyard. I think it would be really pretty to paint these or replace them with just single pane glass. I'm a big fan of, having that single pane glass so you can just see better. This is the new front door. This is the new thermostat. We have this thermostat set on a locking mechanism while we're doing showings, and this keeps the system controlled remotely from the seller's phone, but it also gives us some room to adjust the temperature within a certain range. So we just ask, if you're there on a showing and I'm not there with you, if you're out there with your own agent or a separate agent, if you adjust that just to make sure as you leave you put it back where it was, and keep it within a reasonable range. But do test it out. Do absolutely test it out. I want you to feel it kick on. We want you to feel it kick on so you can feel how good it blows, so you can see how good it cools. Stand under one of those vents. You can tell the system is spectacular. This is the brand new electrical panel. The seller was explaining to me today, this is down in the basement, that if you want to connect the separate HVAC system to the downstairs, that you need to have a little spot inserted for it, but the main level is controlled by the new system upstairs. But this is all new, and I feel like there was something else I was going to mention. I can't remember. Maybe it'll come to me later. New exterior lighting. All this siding that you see, all the siding is new all the way around the house. This is a picture of the backyard where I had walked to roughly the midpoint between the house and the furthest cleared point of the backyard right here. Hopefully the mouse is showing up on the screen as I'm doing my screen capture. You can see, look at all this flat space that's already cleared. As you head back this way and back this way, there's this massive big add-on chunk of acreage. If you remember the diagram I showed previously, we'll revisit that diagram here in a bit. This is looking at the back deck, and again, there's a whole space underneath this, if you recall that image from previously, but this is where you've walked to the left of the house and you look to the right. Over here there's a new outlet installed, and there's again the second hose connection system. And showings will be accessed through this back door. We have 2 locking mechanisms with a code. Just contact me, request that code, and we'll make sure you can get in there for your showing. 2 propane tanks do convey with the sale as well. Again, all the interior doors have been replaced. And if you don't like the direction that one of these doors is opening, that can be modified. But they're solid doors. They are not hollow, they are solid. This is the middle bay of the 3-bay carport space. It has electricity run to it. And on the right hand side, you can kind of see a peek at the 4th section. It's kind of like a 4th bay, but it's not for a car. It's an enclosure in case you have a pet. This is a picture of part of the walking trail that connects a whole bunch of parks just a few minutes away. It's over 3 miles, I believe. It connects Kingston City Park. It connects some baseball fields, some tennis courts, a workout center, a huge pavilion where events are often held, several bathroom facilities, at least 3 bathroom facilities that I'm aware of, maybe 4. Kingston City Park, Gravel Pit Park, 58 Landing Park, the Historic Park, from the old Civil War fort and Indian ground sites. There's also up on the hill across the street from 58 Landing a library you can walk to, and there is also a dog park you can walk to, and a bank, and a bunch of other stuff. Kingston City has our fireworks show right here every year for 4th of July, and it's absolutely beautiful and spectacular. So let's take a look at those diagrams. So we're going to take a closer look at the property line diagram. And you can see this is the roof of the house. This is the roof of the 3-bay carport. This right here looks like something used to be parked beside this row of bushes, but there's nothing parked there anymore. So you just have this nice long driveway. You got your 85 feet of road front here. Lots of privacy from the road. Again, zoned to allow for you to attempt up to 2 homes per acre. At almost acres, that's at least attempting 14 homes if you wanted to. I love the way as you come up the driveway that this anchoring arm of the property widens. When you are in the backyard over here and you look into the woods, you should be able to see a couple of posts that indicate this section of the property line. These are metal posts that are spray painted yellow at the top. I was told those were placed by a professional surveyor. I can provide you GPS coordinates for any point anywhere on this borderline. So I think if you go visit the property, you might like to have this one back here, this one here, this one here, this one here, a midpoint here, this one here, and this one here. Maybe also one for like right here and a midpoint here. So I can provide you with those. I can also provide you with these two here. And you might want one for like right here and right here and right here. Let's see. We'll zoom out a bit and take a look at, oh, here's another cool feature about this property. So if you look at this back border, everything that encapsulates and wraps around it just is providing you with extra intense privacy. So you can see that this property here already has a house established and it's very far away. Same with this property here. Their home is established way over here. With this property on the southwestern border, they have a structure established way over here. So at your entry point of your driveway, there's a little house nearby. And then over here, through this thick section of woods, there's a house right here. But the rest of this property is very, very private. There is a tree line through here that's quite strong. Sections in it that are thinner, you can remedy that very quickly if you want to. You also see that these houses over here are very well spaced out. So if you wanted to thicken this border for year-round, all you have to do is go on Google, look up fast-growing evergreen trees. One of them that's very popular is a Thuja Green Giant. That's Thuja, Thuja Green Giant, if I'm remembering correctly. But there's lots of things to choose from. But you can plant certain kinds of trees and they will get big and wide very quickly. And if they're evergreens, they're going to be thick and green year round. So speak with someone that's a professional and they can help you pick out what's perfect for the soil type and the region and the weather. But this is a very, very cool spot to be in. We're going to zoom out a bit here and you can see just how close you are to all this Watts Bar Lake area, all through here, Bayside, Blue Springs, Uchee. There's just on and on and on. There's just so many. Katy Creek, Rockwood, so many to choose from. Let's see, what else can we talk about with this property? Let's go ahead and recap on financing options. I talked about financing options in a video I did earlier today. This is the THDA website and it lists a lot of lenders, but I'm going to kind of give you a clue on one that I have had really great experiences with, and that's Cardinal. You can see there's many on this list, okay, but let's check out Cardinal. So Cardinal Financial is supposed to be one of the companies on this list that is known for having a large variety of lending products. A lot of people don't know this, but when you borrow money to buy a home, different lending products are good for achieving different types of goals. Some lending products impose a lot of limitations on what you're allowed to buy, on the condition that it's in. Other lending products are designed to be used for different kinds of situations, buying a property as is, including and encapsulating finish work for the property, including or encapsulating improvements, modernization, expansion, renovation. Maybe you want to go ahead and build another house at the same time that you buy this one because the property lets you do all these different things. Another solution is sometimes to take out multiple loans. So maybe one loan is for the purchase of the structure as is, and maybe there's a separate loan for construction or putting in a pool or building another house. There's lots of different ways you can go about it. If you're looking at acquiring this as a potential place to do Airbnb expansions, maybe you consider doing a home equity line or an HEA or something of that nature against a property that you already own and have lots of equity in. So make sure when you reach out to a lender, whether it's Cardinal Financial or maybe one of these companies on this list here, that you tell them about the property and the finished work that it needs, your vision for the property, and all the goals that you have for the next year or two, and see what all you can encapsulate into that lending process. So here you can see through the Zillow screen, this property has been active for 11 days. It's had over 1,200 views. 62 people have saved it to monitor it. And considering this massive price drop that we've done today, combined with the ones we did over the past 10 days, I'm expecting these numbers to increase and to have a lot of showings to be scheduled. There's a lot of details here in this area if you want to read through those and learn a little bit more about the property. Let's take a peek at the MLS from prior to the current owners owning it. So prior to the current owners owning this property, they purchased it in 2022. Let me show you the before pictures of what this property looked like before they acquired it. Okay, so huge difference, right? You see the front of this house? Huge difference, okay? All new siding is one of the first things you notice, and all new windows, okay? Oh, also, I should note that, okay, so I'm going to click through these pictures really quickly because I just looked up and realized my screen capture software was not capturing, and I'm not sure at what point I stopped. So I'm just going to click through these really quickly. Keep in mind, these are images of the property in 2022. It helps show this is what the property looked like before the current owners acquired it. It helps you to see drastic amounts of improvements and money they have invested in improvements. Most notable are the new siding on the exterior, new lighting on the exterior, new lighting throughout the interior, new windows throughout the interior, new doors throughout the interior, pulling up the old floors, taking down a wall to open up the kitchen living room space. So we're just going to click through these really quickly here. All right, that puts us all the way through. This is interesting here on Zillow. It says this property is likely to sell faster than 95% of other nearby properties. Interesting piece of data. Here's a piece of data that I think is worth talking about, and I always find this kind of interesting. So it says price per square foot, $146 per square foot. Now, let's talk about why that's interesting. We're going to go back up here and we're going to look at the square footage estimate for the home itself. Where's that piece of data? 2,088, okay? So if you take 305,000 and you divide it by 2,088, you get 146, okay? And that's how they're creating this number. I'm going to tell you why that's kind of like stupid and pointless. That calculation is stupid and pointless because This property comes with 7.75 acres of land that's zoned to allow you to attempt to have 2 homes per every acre. That's 14 homes. It is extremely rare to have a property where you're allowed to attempt such a thing or even explore such a thing. It's rare to even have a property that has that much acreage at all. Additionally, this is a property that has a basement that could be potentially rapidly finished out. Again, all things require permitting process and talking to a developer and checking on everything. But, you know, these are some things that you could potentially do quickly with the backyard and the basement and that whole area there. And it's got a lot of privacy. How often do you find a home with this much privacy? So to try to judge the price per square foot based on the purchase price and the potential livable square footage of the home is really silly when you're dealing with property that has real considerable acreage attached with this type of zoning allowance. You know, it's not a good indicator. It's kind of silly. It's kind of, you know, if you do a search on Realtor.com or Zillow.com or the MLS and you look for 3-bedroom, 2-bath homes that have big basements that could be potentially explored for converting into another bathroom and 1 or 2 more bedrooms with a walkout basement and high ceilings, a lot of those competing homes don't have any acreage attached. They're maybe on a 1/4 acre or a 1/2 acre or less. But this property is on 7.75 acres. So that metric in a scenario like this is just very, very silly, because the value of this is not just about the house. This is not a house just floating in the air. This is an experience. This is development potential. This is privacy. This is land. This is a screen I love to share. Look at these tax rates. Property taxes on this property are historically extremely stable and incredibly cheap and affordable. So you don't have to pay a city property tax because it's zoned county, and you can see that county rate right here. Let's do a quick calculation. If you take $624, or let's round up to $625, let's see what that cost is per month. So you're looking at a monthly expense of only about $52 to $53 that you would set aside on a monthly budget in order to keep up with those property taxes. And again, the property taxes have remained very stable. Let's take a look at some photo galleries of the nearby Kingston City Park. These are just public on Google. Fishing tournaments are often based here and at many of the other water access areas. This is part of that trail. So Kingston City Park, the main piece is over here where I'm pointing the mouse. If you take the trail and you come down this way heading south, you'll eventually come across this bridge. And over here, sometimes there are hundreds of turtles. It's a really cool spot. There's the ball field. This looks like a special event was going on, maybe live music before 4th of July. Here's some of the historic park that connects. A lot of people really enjoy these beautiful networks of parks that connect to Kingston City Park and trails. Absolutely gorgeous. There's a new historical structure that's been placed right over here. I got pictures of that today. I might add them later. There's part of the playground area and the swing sets. There's always blue herons, red-shouldered hawks, eagles, Sometimes swans, white egrets, and osprey nest around here a lot. Just lots of beautiful wildlife. Next, let's check out Roane County Park on the Lake. This is a massive park. I showed a diagram of it earlier, and there are multiple playgrounds, multiple water access areas, a swimming area, bathroom facilities, picnicking areas, tons of hiking trails, disc golf, a massive disc golf thing. There's a section where lots of water access areas, docks, piers. There's a special spot that's made specifically for launching like kayaks. You'll see ducks and all kinds of wildlife. This is the entry area for a big garden that the local chapter of the Gardener Society, Master Gardener Society does. It's really beautiful to visit all throughout the spring and the summer and the fall. They do a great job with it. I'm not really sure what this originally was, but it's kind of neat because it looks like a frame. And I've seen people come down to the park by this structure and goof off and pose for pictures, and it kind of looks like you're in a painting. The squirrels also like to hang out on this structure right here. There's a bunch of geese. This shows the disc golf course diagram. They also have some little cabins throughout the Roane County waterfront park system, and I think you can rent those through their website. Check out Roane County Tourism as a website, and check out Roane County Parks and Rec and Kingston Parks and Rec. Anyway, the beauty of these is just going to go on and on forever. There's so many pavilions. There's so many fun little spaces. It's just so beautifully done. Okay. I think I'm going to wrap this video up. We're almost at an hour in length. We're going to finalize this with the Caney Creek Marina. This is where you can go to rent a boat. It's the closest place to rent a boat, at least that I'm aware of. And it's just very nearby, very convenient. This is their phone number right here. They also have a Facebook page. You can contact them. I would just recommend really going to their Facebook page, though. They have a pool at their RV resort that's very nice. Here are some of their, looks like some of their rates here under their rates tab. So they have golf cart rentals, but there's so much in Roane County, and you're so close to so many wonderful things. If you have any questions or you'd like to schedule a showing for this property, the number is 865-617-4783. Again, that's 865-617-4783. And I will be happy to answer all your questions. We are accepting offers that have contingencies for inspections of any kind. So we want to make sure that the buyer buys a property they feel good about, that they don't feel like they're taking on any unnecessary risk. So we're totally transparent there and looking forward to making a deal happen. Have a great day.